Nalani was minding her own business under the oak tree, braiding her doll's hair, when Min-jun approached with the confidence of a tiny CEO. He held out a bag of honey butter chips like it was a business contract. "I have a proposal," he announced. Nalani looked up, suspicious. "If this is about your math homework again, the answer is still no." "I want your mom to marry my dad." Nalani blinked. Once. Twice. "Excuse me?" Min-jun sat down, pulled out his phone and showed her a photo. "This is my father. I researched marriage extensively. We could be a family." Nalani squinted at the screen. The man was wearing an expensive suit, had sharp cheekbones, and looked like he could fire someone just by breathing in their direction. Then she looked at Min-jun's earnest little face and burst out laughing. "Boy, are you serious right now?" She wiped her eyes. Hold up. Is your dad handsome?" "Because my mama is beautiful, and she's not settling for just anybody." Min-jun's face got very serious. "He's very handsome. Women at parent conferences stare at him. It makes me uncomfortable." "Does he have all his teeth?" "Yes." "Hair?" "Yes." "A job that's not selling stuff out of his trunk?" Min-jun looked offended. "He owns 3 buildings." Nalani considered this. "Okay, but why would I help you? I don't even know you like that." Min-jun's voice dropped. "Because I see you watching the other kids with their dads. I see you pretending it doesn't hurt." The laughter died in Nalani's throat. This weird little Korean boy just read her like a picture book. "Plus," Min-jun added, pulling out an origami crane, "I make excellent snacks, and I'm very good at planning." Before we dive into this absolutely chaotic mission, let me ask you something. Would you ever try to set up your parents? Drop your answer in the comments, because these 2 kids are about to take matchmaking to a whole new level. And if you love wholesome stories about found family, second chances, and kids being way smarter than adults, hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to see how this plays out. Now, back to our tiny matchmakers. That evening, Nalani watched her mama drag herself through the door at 8 p.m., still in her scrubs. Imani worked doubles at the hospital, came home smelling like antiseptic and exhaustion, and still managed to smile when she saw her daughter. "Hey, baby girl." Imani kissed the top of Nalani's head. "You eat? Ms. Letty brought over mac and cheese." "Bless that woman." Imani collapsed on the couch, kicked off her shoes. "How was school?" Nalani hesitated. "Mama, do you ever think about having someone? Like a person?" Imani's smile flickered. "Baby, we're complete. Just us 2. We don't need anybody else." "But what if?" "Men leave, Nalani." Her mother's voice went soft and final. "That's what they do. Your daddy left before you were even born. My daddy left when I was 7. It's just what they do." Nalani wanted to argue, but her mama's eyes had that far-away look, the one that meant the conversation was over. Instead, she curled up next to her, and they watched cooking shows until Imani fell asleep sitting up. Across town, Min-jun was supposed to be sleeping, but he was listening to his father pace in the living room, speaking rapid Korean into his phone. "I told you I'm trying to get out," Daewon said, voice tight. "I have a son. I can't keep doing this." The voice on the other end got loud, angry. "I understand the consequences," Daewon continued, "but I'm done. Find someone else." He hung up, and for a moment, there was just silence. Then Min-jun heard his father sit heavily on the couch. When he peeked around the corner, he saw Daewon staring at the photo of Min-jun's mother, his face carved with loneliness. Min-jun tiptoed back to bed, more convinced than ever. His father needed this. They both did. The next day at lunch, Min-jun presented Nalani with an actual notebook. The cover read, "Operation Family," in careful block letters. "You made a PowerPoint?" Nalani flipped through pages of charts and timelines. Phase 1 is introduction, Min-jun explained. The spring festival is Saturday. Your mom has a bake sale booth. My father will attend. And then what? They just fall in love? Phase 2 is demonstrating character. I researched this. Consistency builds trust. Nalani had to admit, the kid was thorough. Okay, but listen. If your dad is mean to my mama, or if he's one of those scary dudes my mama warns me about, I'm out. Deal? My father is not scary. He reads me bedtime stories in Korean. Does he do that thing where he follows women to their cars? What? No. Good. Because my mama has pepper spray, and she's from the South. She will use it. Min-jun extended his hand. Partners? Nalani shook it, and they did an elaborate handshake she taught him on the spot, ending with finger snaps. Min-jun grinned so wide his eyes disappeared. Saturday came fast. The spring festival had the whole school buzzing. Parents set up booths, selling everything from cookies to handmade jewelry. Imani's table had sweet potato pie, peach cobbler, and lemon pound cake that made people stop mid-walk to sniff the air. Nalani saw him first. Daewon stepped out of a black car looking like he just walked off a magazine cover. Tailored coat, perfect hair, and an expression that said he wasn't used to elementary school festivals. Mama, Nalani whispered. Don't look now, but that's Min-jun's dad. Imani glanced up and froze. The man was walking straight toward them, Min-jun practically dragging him by the hand. Ms. Wright, Min-jun said formally. This is my father, Kang Daewon. Daewon bowed slightly, caught himself, then extended his hand instead. My son tells me your sweet potato pie could convert anyone. Imani shook his hand, professional smile in place. Nurse voice activated. Your son has excellent taste. I'll take everything, Daewon said. Everything? Everything on this table. And here is $300 for the school. The parents nearby literally turned to stare. Imani's smile went tight. Sir, that's very generous, but please. Min-jun is very passionate about this school. Consider it an investment. He bought every single item, balanced the boxes in his arms like an awkward giant, and somehow made it look dignified. Before he left, he turned back. Perhaps, he said carefully, we could speak again? About the school? Min-jun speaks very highly of Nalani. Imani's defenses were Fort Knox level, but something in the way he looked at his son, so gentle and proud, made her pause. Maybe, she said. After they left, Imani's friend Shanice leaned over. Girl, you know who that is, right? That's Kang Daewon. People say he's connected to some shady business. I don't care who he is, Imani said, but she watched his car pull away, conflicted. Behind the ring toss booth, Nalani and Min-jun high-fived. 7 minutes, Min-jun whispered, showing his stopwatch. They talked for 7 minutes. Okay, tiny businessman, what's phase 2? Min-jun's plan was simple, repeated, natural encounters. What he didn't account for was that his father and Nalani's mother were both extremely suspicious people. He Googled how to make adults fall in love and found an article about building trust through consistency. Then he had a brilliant idea. Community service, he told Nalani over video call. He'd taught her how to use it, and now they talked every night. My father wants to set a good example. Your mother already volunteers. We get them in the same place every week. Where does your mama volunteer? Beacon Community Center. Saturdays. They feed people. Perfect. I'll tell my dad we should volunteer. He'll agree because he wants me to learn values. And I'll tell my mama my new friend wants to come. She can't say no to helping people. It was foolproof. Absolutely foolproof. Saturday morning, Imani tied on her apron at Beacon's kitchen, ready for her peaceful routine. Then she heard Min-jun's voice. "Ms. Wright, we came to help." She turned around and saw Dae-won standing there in designer jeans and an expensive sweater, looking absolutely terrified of the hairnet in his hands. "You have got to be kidding me," Imani said. Min-jun and Nalani exchanged guilty looks. "They planned this," Dae-won said. "Oh, I know they planned this." For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then Ms. Letty, the center's volunteer coordinator, bustled over. "Well, don't just stand there. We got 100 people to feed. Imani, show this man how to work a ladle before he hurts himself." "Y'all, these kids are bold. I need you to drop a comment right now. Team Min-jun or Team Nalani? Who's the better mastermind? And if you're loving this chaotic energy, smash that like button and subscribe, because it gets so much better. Trust me, the first Saturday was painful. Dae-won had clearly never served food to anyone in his life. He held the ladle like it might explode. Imani tried not to laugh when he fumbled with his apron strings. "You need help?" she finally asked. "Please." She tied it for him, professional and quick, but her hands brushed his back and they both noticed. It was the first time they'd touched beyond a handshake, and the awareness hung in the air like humidity. They worked side by side, serving stew and cornbread to the line of people who came through. Dae-won was stiff at first, but then an elderly woman complimented his smile and he softened. By the end, he was actually conversing, asking people how they were, remembering names. During cleanup, Imani finally spoke. "I know what you're doing." "Making amends for our scheming children?" "That too." She dried a pot, not looking at him. "But I also know your reputation. People talk." Dae-won stopped washing dishes. "What do they say?" "That you're connected, that you're dangerous." She met his eyes. "Are they right?" He could have lied, should have lied. Instead, he said, "Yes." Imani's hand stilled. "But I'm trying to leave that life," Dae-won continued. "For Min-jun, he lost his mother. He deserves a father who comes home safe. And what if they don't let you leave? Then I fight harder." Something in his voice made Imani believe him, which terrified her more than anything. She didn't trust men. She definitely didn't trust men with dangerous pasts. But something about the way he looked at his son, the way he showed up here despite being completely out of his element, made her want to. "Will you be here next week?" Dae-won asked quietly. Imani hesitated. Everything in her screamed to say no, to protect herself and Nalani, but her daughter's hopeful face flashed in her mind. "Maybe," she said. She came back, and the next week, and the week after that. By the fourth Saturday, they had a routine. Dae-won brought Korean ingredients, kimchi and bulgogi, that the regulars absolutely loved. He and Imani developed an easy rhythm, passing utensils without asking, finishing each other's sentences when giving directions. "2 creams, 1 sugar," Dae-won said one morning, handing Imani coffee. She stared at the cup. "How did you? I noticed things." That simple gesture cracked something in her chest. He noticed. He paid attention. He showed up. Ms. Letty pulled Imani aside during a break. "Baby, I see how you look at him. It's complicated, Ms. Letty. Love always is. Question is he worth the risk?" Imani watched Dae-won teaching Min-jun and Nalani how to make kimbap, patient and gentle, laughing when Nalani's rice exploded everywhere. He was worth the risk. That was the terrifying part. The 5th Saturday, everything changed. Imani arrived at Beacon, and Dae-won wasn't there. Min-jun sat on the steps with Sung-ho, his father's security guard, looking small and scared. "Where's your dad?" Nalani asked. Min-jun's eyes were red. "He had an emergency. Business." That night, Imani couldn't stop thinking about it. She told herself it was just concern, that she wasn't invested. She was lying. Monday after school, Min-jun was still waiting at pickup when Sung-ho arrived instead of his father. "Where is he?" Min-jun demanded. "He always picks me up. Always!" Sung-ho's face was grim. "Your father had to handle something. I'll take you home." "Is he hurt? Tell me. He'll be home soon." But when soon came, Dae-won looked like he'd fought a war. His face was bruised, lips split, and he moved like every breath hurt. Min-jun ran to him anyway, and Dae-won caught him despite the obvious pain. "What happened?" Dae-won sat down carefully. "People from my old life. They don't want me to leave. But you're leaving anyway, right?" "Yes. For you. For us. For the life I want." At school the next day, Nalani found Min-jun crying in the library. "He promised," Min-jun sobbed. "He always picks me up. He promised." Nalani held his hand. "Maybe something really bad happened. Not his fault bad." They called Sung-ho together. He wouldn't give details, just said Dae-won was handling business. That Saturday, Imani went to Beacon expecting Dae-won's absence, expecting disappointment, expecting confirmation that men always leave. He was there. Bruised face, split lip, moving like his ribs were broken, but there, serving food, smiling at regulars, present. Imani's hands shook so badly she had to put down the ladle. "What are you doing here?" Her voice cracked. "I made a commitment. To this place. To you." They worked in silence for an hour. Finally, during cleanup, Dae-won spoke. "I can't promise I'll always be safe. I know. There are people who want to hurt me because I'm walking away from that life. I know that too. But I can promise I will never choose to leave. I'll fight to come home, every single day. That's my vow to you." Imani's tears came fast. "How am I supposed to believe that? Every man I've ever known has left. My daddy, Nalani's daddy. They all chose to go." Dae-won stopped working, turned to face her fully. "They chose to leave. I'm choosing to stay, even when it's dangerous, even when it's hard. I'm choosing you. I'm choosing Nalani. I'm choosing this family our children are trying to build for us." "I'm so scared," Imani whispered. "Me too. But I'm more scared of not trying." Imani looked at this man, bruised and battered, who showed up anyway, who kept his promises, who chose them. "If you ever break Min-jun's heart," she said, voice shaking, "or Nalani's, or mine, I won't. This is my vow." He kissed her then, careful of his split lip, and Imani let herself fall. Behind the storage room door, two kids silently fist-bumped. "Okay, I need you to pause for a second. If you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for?" This man literally showed up beaten and bruised to keep his promise. Subscribe if you believe in people who show up, like if you're rooting for this family. And comment if you've ever seen love this honest. Now, let's see how they build this family. 2 months passed like a dream. Dinners alternated between homes. Korean BBQ at Dae-won's penthouse. Soul food at Imani's apartment. The kids taught each other everything. Min-jun learned Double Dutch. Nalani learned Korean phrases. They became actual siblings in everything but paperwork. Dae-won showed up, not just physically, but emotionally. He fixed Imani's sink, brought groceries, helped Nalani with homework, held Imani when she cried about work, let her hold him when nightmares about his old life woke him at 3 a.m. Ms. Letty gave her approval, which was basically papal blessing. That man loves you proper, baby. Imani was learning to trust, learning to let someone carry her weight sometimes, learning that not all men leave. At the school talent show, Min-jun performed a traditional Korean fan dance. Nalani recited a spoken word poem about found family that made every parent cry. In the audience, Daewon and Imani held hands, crying, proud tears. After the show, Daewon looked at both kids. "Ice cream?" Nalani looked at her mother. "Can he come to our place after?" Imani smiled. "Baby, this is his place too now." 6 months after that first Saturday, Daewon pulled Min-jun aside. "I need your permission for something." "What?" "I want to ask Imani to marry me. But you're my son. I need to know you're okay with this." Min-jun's face split into the biggest grin. "Yes! This was my plan all along." They planned together. It had to be perfect. It had to be at Beacon, where it all began. That Saturday, after regular service, Daewon asked everyone to stay. The regulars, the volunteers, Ms. Letty. Nalani and Min-jun brought Imani to the center of the room, both of them vibrating with excitement. Daewon knelt down, wincing a little because his ribs still sometimes ached, but his smile was pure joy. "Imani, 6 months ago, our children decided we belonged together. They were smarter than us because they were right. You taught me that showing up is love, that choosing to stay is everything. Will you let me keep choosing you? Every single day for the rest of our lives. Will you marry me?" Imani looked at Nalani, who was crying and nodding frantically. Looked at Min-jun, who was holding Nalani's hand and grinning. Looked at Daewon, vulnerable and hoping, and hers. "We already are a family," she said, crying and laughing. "Yes, let's make it official." The community center erupted. Daewon had planned ahead, had Korean and soul food catering ready. There was music and dancing, and Ms. Letty hugging Daewon so hard he actually laughed. "You keep that promise, young man." "On my life," he swore. 1 year later, they got married at Beacon Community Center. Full circle. Nalani wore lavender. Min-jun wore a tiny suit. They did both a traditional Korean pieback ceremony and jumped the broom. Sung-ho cried during the vows. Ms. Letty officiated. Daewon's vows. "I vow to show up, to choose you, to protect this family with everything I have." Imani's vows. "I vow to trust you, to let you love us, to build this life together, every day." The reception was chaos in the best way. Korean BBQ and mac and cheese, kimchi and collard greens. First dance was awkward and perfect. Daewon danced with Nalani, and when she whispered, "I love you, Appa," he absolutely lost it. Imani danced with Min-jun, who already called her mom like he'd been doing it his whole life. As evening settled, Nalani and Min-jun sat on the community center steps, eating wedding cake. "We did it," Nalani said. "We made a family," Min-jun agreed. Through the window, they watched their parents slow dancing, foreheads pressed together, completely in love. "You think they know it was all us?" Nalani asked. Min-jun grinned. "Let them think it was fate." They clinked their plastic forks together like champagne glasses. Inside, Daewon whispered to Imani, "You stayed." "So did you," she whispered back. "I'll love you forever." 2 kids, with a plan, a bag of honey butter chips, and the absolute audacity to believe that love was worth fighting for, had built something beautiful. They'd built a family. Not perfect, but real. Not easy, but worth it. Sometimes the best families aren't the ones you're born into. They're the ones brave enough to choose each other. And sometimes, all they need is 2 8-year-olds with matching determination and 0 chill. If this story made you believe in second chances, in found family, in kids being absolute masterminds, then I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button because you deserve more stories like this. Stories about people who choose to stay, who fight for love, who build families in unexpected ways. Smash that like button if you're smiling right now. I know I am. Share this with someone who needs to remember that it's never too late to choose love. And turn on notifications, because this week, I've got another story about the family we choose that's going to wreck you in the best way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in love. Now go hug someone you love and tell them they matter. I'll see you in the next one.